Sometimes when you're doing laundry, you shove too much clothes in the dryer. You just keep cramming it in there and cramming it in there, and then the clothes never get dry. Hello, my name is Michael Glenn, and in this episode of the Dojo Show, we're studying the kata Mukōzume. Mukōzume means cramming forward or pressing forward. You're filling the space with strikes as you press in, forcing your opponent to defend and back up. So this kata Mukōzume is part of the ihen kata, and it looks very simple, but it contains a lot of lessons for ihen in this simple-looking kata. I'm going to start off with a very simple version and then build as we go. So the first initial version I do won't really be the kata; it's going to be simplified. Very simple. Try again. So from ihen no kamae is not fixed, it's shifting. Okay? So the bow is shifting in space here, and I flip to the head. Okay? Then I flip to the head again, and last flip to the head again. So there's 3 of these flips. And right now I'm keeping it on one side to stay simple with this. When you're doing this this flip over, the idea with this kata is that you're closing distance, right? And as you're closing distance, you want to fill the space with these strikes. Because if I close distance and I don't fill up that space, I start to get in danger here from his sword, right? Right now I'm in a lot of danger at this distance, right? So in order to keep myself safe from his sword, as I close distance, I'm filling the space with the bow so that he has to back up. If he doesn't back up, he's in danger, right? So I need the bow to sort of lead my entrance, okay? So what I don't want to do is I don't want to enter and then strike, because in that gap in the middle here, he can get me very easily. So instead, I want the bow to enter, and then I'm in behind it, right? See how I do that? So the bow enters, and then I'm in behind it. Does that make sense? And that way, the distance that we start at, which is safe for me, it keeps shifting, but it's the same distance, the one that's safe for me. As I close distance there, I don't want to close in a place that puts me in danger. So I have to do that shifting by allowing this to fill the space with strikes. Does that make sense? And that goes with the name of this kata, which is Mukōzume, which is cramming forward or shoving forward or filling the space as you move forward, okay? So try that again and see if you can regulate that distance with your strikes, okay? Yeah, you kind of follow behind it, right? So, well, the bow is flying into that space, right? And so this is when I shift in. So it's with this timing, right? So the tip is sort of leading.
So first your body, then the tip, then your body.
Well, it's my body here that throws it, but I'm not closing distance yet. It's just my knees, right? And to close distance, it's here. It's like right behind it, right? So it kind of leads me. It's sort of, the strike in a way kind of pulls me forward, yeah. Does that make sense? That looked better, Jesse, except you're still entering just a bit too soon. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
So practice first just delivering it with your knees, right? So without entering behind it, just practice delivering with the knees here. So James is too far for me right now, but from this position, I want to be able to do this flip just from my knees without stepping. So it's my knees here rocking, right, that allow this flip to occur. And I haven't stepped forward yet, right? So then when you add the step forward, you do your flip here, and then the step follows it.
So as he's walking, are you kind of putting pressure on him too?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that strike is pressuring him, and that gives you the opportunity to advance. Yeah.
I mean, physically, after it actually hits, you feel like it's going forward.
Yeah, well, it's. I think it's right before the bow hits his sword that you are moving forward. Right before that, just an instant. Play with it. You can play with different timings and see what it creates for you. When I do this flip and strike to his head, I have to maintain my kamae afterwards. So I'm here, right? And I'm getting ready to do this rocking motion and strike. Well, this is kamae here afterwards. Because if my strike misses or he tries to counter, I need to be ready for that. So I do this flip, and then I'm in kamae here, guarding, okay? I'm keeping the bow between me and him. In case he decides to come in, I can easily thrust and keep him out, right? So you want to control your tip after the strike too. So after the strike, you see where my tip ends up, it's on him, okay? And then the next strike happens and the next, but always the tip is towards your opponent, so he has trouble entering. In this first version we were doing all these on the same side, right? So now we're going to shift that. So I come here and I do my flip, and you see now I'm on this side, okay? And then the last one back to this side, okay? So here, right, flip, flip, flip. So 3, but alternating sides, okay? Let's go that way. So from here, I do this flip here, this flip, and then this flip. I do this flip here, I do the flip here on the left side, and then back to the right side. Let's do one more. So right, left, right. You see it's making James work a lot because he doesn't know what's coming. This version here like drives me in more, whereas this version here keeps me out. So in case I need to stay out, I would do that version. If I need to press in, I'll do the other version. So the pressing in version is here, right? And then here, right? So that one drives me in more. So it's all based on distance. Like if you feel like it's good for you to keep pressing, you'll do that version. If you feel like you need to keep your distance a little bit because it's too dangerous, you might do the other. I do my flip here, right? And then I'm going to flip here and then flip here. Okay? So it's 2 on the left, 1 on the right, 2 on the left. So I flip here, flip here, flip here. Okay? Maintain your ihen. Flip, flip, flip. So I got his kote on that one. Yeah. So, but the key with the sword blocking is very much like Jodan Uke, right? I just want to block just enough. I just want to evade just enough so that I can easily come back in for the next piece. All right, we're not doing that tonight. We're not doing the counter, but you want to try to stay in that range. if I'm with the sword against him and he does one of his flips, right? And if I go way out here, I've made a mistake, right? Because now there's no way I can get him, but he can get me, right? So with the sword, back up a little bit there. So with the sword, when I block, I usually don't want to go this far, because if I do, it's bad for me. And he could still get me, but I can't get him. So with the sword, what I usually want to do is try to maintain in here so that I can get him, right? I want to try to keep my presence, my fudoshin, and just block just enough to be able to come back in. So if you're on that side and you come down, I'm probably going to go this way. Yeah, I'll probably go that way. Because now see, this side is all exposed to me for something, right? So depending on what side of his body is on, that might decide which way you go.
On the second left one, depends on distance, I guess?
Yeah, there's a trick on the second left one. So I do my right, my left, and then this last left, I keep this underhand grip to throw it that way. Okay. Watch your distance. You have to change your footwork to keep your distance.
So that's, you get the other underhand one, but do you necessarily step on that one?
So the way I'm doing it, so I'm here, right? Then I have 2 overhand grips, and I'm here, and then on this last one I have 1 overhand, 1 underhand grip, and I'm here. Okay. So that one I could back out if I feel like I'm too close. I could back out here, or if I feel like I have an advantage and I can press, I can also press, right?
With the underhand grip, it seems like you have to step one way or the other, right? Because you can't really.
Well, it's just like it's just like bofuri gata, right? So from here it could turn into this, right? So it's just bofuri gata. So with this ihen sabaki that's in this kata, every instant and every move you make should be an opportunity for a strike to occur. And so to explore that, we're going to add a little bit more of a furi into this, bofuri. So I'm going to come here with my my overhead strike, and then I'm going to keep this spinning here, and then overhead strike, and this keeps spinning, okay? And then overhead strike, okay? So I'm doing all my strikes on the right side, but there's a potential for strikes in the middle during the spin, okay? So it's here, this keeps spinning here, right? Here, this keeps spinning. See this potential for strikes here? Here, right? I think I'm adding another one, right? So during the spin, there's obviously opportunity for strike. So I do this flip here, and then I allow my spin to continue here. Flip, the spin keeps continuing. Flip. So let me show you one more time. So I flip. As this spin continues, there's a possibility for a strike there, here, here, and then I strike. Again, here, 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 here. All those opportunities, I could ski, I could hit kote, I could hit somewhere else. It's in the spin that the strikes are possible. So ihen, this ihen no kamae naturally transforms into bofuri gata, right? So I want you guys to explore that. Do all the strikes on the right side. If the guy's actually blocking, it interrupts the flow, right? So when I'm here, right, there's this interruption to the flow, and then I come back here. Okay, so it interrupts the flow, and then I come back. Okay. When I do my first strike, you see I'm still threatening here, right? And I'm threatening here, and here, and here, and then I strike again. And I'm threatening, 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 right? So when I do this in a flow, come back, so it's in here, right? It's like, you know, he needs to retreat, right? When I do it in the flow, he has to retreat because each one is a strike, really. Even though I'm not necessarily doing the strike, each one potentially is a strike. And so for him to be safe, he needs to retreat. So I do this flip and then ski. Okay, see, I did two different ones there. Like one was striking the kote, the next one was ski. And the thing with ihen is he doesn't know, I don't know. It's like change that happens in the moment, right? So again, so I flip. This time I come down to kote here. Okay. So you see how each time was different. But that's the flow of this kata. So you can strike whatever target you find available for that next piece. I'll do one last one. So I can flip and then come around here to the legs. Okay. But so you guys notice I did like a strike to kote, I did a ski, I did an ashiburai, right? So any strike you know from Bojutsu is possible in that movement. And that's what you guys want to shoot for. You find a weakness in his kamae and that's what you go for. One trick that we've discussed in the past with these kind of strikes, when I flip here, I want to keep this connected to him, right? I don't instantly pull it away. I'm using this connection to decide what happens next. Okay, once again. So I do my flip and I'm stay connected to him here, right? So, you know, obviously, because the bow slipped down, I could use that connection to strike low. Once again, so I flip, I have this connection here still. So the next one, if I'm pressuring here, the next one can come in there, right? So it's this connection that I've made by the initial strike, I use that to feed off of. So as I advance here, it's still there, right? And I might advance and ski, I might advance and flip, I might advance and ashiburai, right? But it's because of that connection that I do that, right? If you pull that connection away and then strike, it's like you're creating a gap that he can block with or counter. So you don't want to give him that gap. Here I have a connection up top that he's blocked, right? And I maintain that connection until I do the next piece. I don't automatically pull it away. If you strike and then reset and pull away, now you're like starting from scratch again. Strike and then I pull away, well now like he can reset. But if I strike here and it'll come here.